Hello everyone, welcome back to Angela's Craft Room. Today I've got another one of the celebration stamp sets for you, Party Pandas. So I've made a shaker card today with this stamp set. So here it is, and I was just thrilled how it turned out, but I've done it a bit differently. So you can notice the sequins in here. They do move, but not like a normal shaker card. I must be honest, I'm not a fan of shaker cards because every time I do them, all the sequins end up down the bottom and they sit all down the bottom, and it annoys the world out of me. So I saw a lady do her shaker card like this, so I decided I'd make a shaker card with one of the celebration stamp sets, and this is what I've come up with. And so I'm just going to share with you today the technique that I've done, and I've called it a flat shaker card. Okay, so it still sits up and everything, but you can see even when it's sitting up, the sequins inside aren't moving. They're staying behind my panda, which I'm thrilled. So happy with this card, and it's just so easy. So we'll pop the stamp set out of the way. Now I need some grid paper. Okay, so to start with, this is what I use. You use what colour you want, but I thought the pandas are black and white, so I thought for the best result looking card, we'll stay black and white. So it's 11 inches long by 4 1/8 of an inch wide and scored at 5.5 inches. Then what you'll need is a piece of DSP to go on top of there. Okay, so that measures 5 1/4 inches by 3 7/8 of an inch. Then you would glue that down there. I've already done the base, so that's why I'm not gluing it down, but then you would glue your DSP down like that, and then you would get the largest out of the layering ovals framelets and just position it wherever you want your opening for your shaker card to be, and you would just put that as normal through your big shot. Okay, so I've already done that. So then you would end up with this, like so. Okay, so then I'm going to do the inside. I'll glue my piece inside. So I've got a piece of Whisper White, 5 1/4 inches by 3 7/8 of an inch. Now before I glue that in, what I'm going to do is carry my DSP through to the inside of my card. Instead of stamping something in it, I decided to carry that through like that. And that measures 5 1/4 inches by 1 1/8 of an inch. Now there's no strict rules on, that's just my measurement because I wanted just to have 2 squares. So I'm going to glue that in place, and then we can pop that inside the card. Okay, so I'm just going to place that at the top. And you can see how I'm able to still move it a little bit at the moment. And that will go on the inside of the card. my chamois because I've got glue on my fingers. Just a little bit of glue there. It's always hard when you're just working on white because you don't want to transfer anything. So then we're just going to glue that to the inside of the card like so. So it's all ready to be written on. So you just need a little bit down the sides, you don't need a lot. And then I'm just going to pop that very carefully inside my card so it's as straight as possible. Just pop my glue away. It's good to keep the multi-purpose liquid glue upside down and that way it won't clog. So that's the inside, but it's not going to look like that when it's finished. That's just the part you're going to write on. Okay, so then what we need is a piece of window sheet. Like it's just acetate, but Stampin' Up call it window sheet. You can get it in 12" by 12" pieces and then you just cut to your desired size. Now this piece in particular is 5 1/8 inch by 3 3/4 inch. Now what I'm going to do, that's decide what side I want. Okay, so I want to grab my, just thinking how I did achieve that. Right, so just grabbing my tear and tape. You'll think I'm going crazy, but I'm not, because we want this not to move. So we're just going to put tear and tape on all 4 sides, but what I'll do is put it on one side first and remove the backing, and then I'll do the other sides. And a tip when you're using this acetate or window sheet, whatever you want to call it, a tip is try not to put your fingers too much on there in the middle there, because that's what's going to, that's where you're going to see it, and that's where people make a bit of a mistake and you get fingerprints and you get it scratched. And another way that you can clean it is you can actually use your embossing buddy if you want to. With this one I've just cleaned it with a clean tissue. So it's a bit hard for you to see the acetate, but, and then we're just going to put a piece across the top and then another piece across the bottom. So there. So just remember, celebration finishes at the end of March, so you won't be able to get these stamps after that. But I'll most probably continue to do some tutorials because I've just got so many from the occasions and the celebrations that I want to do a tutorial on them all if I can. Can always apply what I show you to with whatever stamp sets you've got. You don't have to have the stamp sets that I've got. Okay, so here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that and I'm going to put down my piece of acetate. Like so. So then we've got our window sheet at the front. Right. So then we're going to turn it over, and I've got some of these sequins. I'm not sure if they're discontinued, but you just use whatever you've got. And I'm just going to try and stay within that oval that you've cut out. Don't get any on that tear and tape. Now I've put a few extra this time because I felt I didn't have enough in the first card I did. I was still really happy how it turned out. Now I'll try and get that little one off there. And then, because the pandas are black and white, I might actually have too many. We'll see how we go. So, because the pandas are black and white, out of these sequins, I've got some black stars. Just going to move that. I might just take a couple of those iridescent ones out. We'll spread them out a bit. And well, when I put the panda on, I always run the risk that you won't see the black stars anyway, but anyway, that doesn't really matter. So that's why I'm trying to put the stars right on the edge. So hopefully, and I'm sort of digging through these just because I just want the black. I don't want the other colours. So just push that in there. I'm putting the black ones right on the outside this time. So I think that's okay. So you'll see why I'm being so particular. So then we don't want that to move. I'm just going to move it slowly. Don't want it to move. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to another piece of cardstock. I'm using the basic black, which is 5 1/4 inches by 3 7/8. So actually, I'll just rub that because that's the side I'm going to glue on top of there. I just don't want the measurement showing through the other side, just in case I've put it in a position where you can see. So that's like that. So then we get the trusty tear and tape again, and just like we did with the acetate, we're just going to put the tear and tape down both sides first. And remove that. And then just on each end, so you can sort of guess where I'm going with this. So the difference between the normal shaker card and how I'm doing this is I'm not putting any foam to build up. Normally you would put foam around there so it would shake and carry on and that. Whereas with this, I just want this to, it's going to be sitting flat on there, so hopefully my sequins are going to be in the whole circle oval and not just falling down the bottom, which drives me insane when I do a shaker card. So I really love doing it this way. So now we're going to put this piece of black. Oh, hang on, I've just done that wrong because I wanted Bermuda. Sorry, I'm going to have to do that. I remember I cut a piece of black out to do it, and then I decided no, I wanted it to be a bit different to the first card, and so I wanted it to be Bermuda Bay. Bermuda Bay and the basic black go really well together. They're great two colours to always put together, and a good combination is basic black, Bermuda Bay and cherry cobbler. They really go well together. So I hope they don't discontinue this Bermuda Bay, otherwise I'm going to have to buy a bit of it before it gets discontinued. But we've got till the end of May. The next annual catalogue doesn't come out until the 1st of June, so we've got a little while yet, a few months, and I'm sure it'll just fly by. So just get that off. Thank you for being patient, because I really wanted to put the Bermuda Bay down, because I'd already done one with black, basic black. Okay, there we go. So now I'm just going to put that as straight as I can and trying not to move any of those sequences. So it's going to be nice and flat, and just run your finger around the edges where you've got your tear and tape. And it should sit there because we haven't built it up with foam tape. My first one worked out, so I'm hoping this one works. Hey, yay! So, and then you've got that like that. So they do, it's still going to move a little bit, but nothing like when you build it up on foam. You can see standing up how it's still literally in the whole of the oval. I just love it. And then inside is that. So you might think, oh yeah, that looks pretty good, but looks a bit bland. So we're going to add, first thing we're going to add is my little panda. And I've got the Bermuda Bay blends, and I'm just going to colour in his balloon. So and it's not going to be a big colouring in session, so don't worry. Just putting the light down basically, and then on one of the sides I decided on the left side I'm going to add a really thick bit of the dark Bermuda Bay, and then I'm just going to come back in with my light colour and just keep blending that. Don't just on the very edge of where the dark stops, and just keep blending it. You can do little circle motions, or you can just go flick it out until you feel that that has blended out enough for you. It's just a personal thing. So I'm pretty happy with that. Go right round there. So that's the balloon for that one. And then I've got, where is he? The one with the party hat. And I'm just going to use the small nib end on my blend on the cherry cobbler, and I'm just going to colour in the little circles on his hat, which takes like 2 minutes because we're not blending or anything, we're just adding a bit of colour, because pandas are black and white as far as I know. So, and then I'm just going to get the light Bermuda Bay, and I'm just going to go around those bits of cherry cobbler, just fill in his little party hat. Just got to take a bit of care because it is a small area that we're adding. So that's all we have to do there with the blends. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is grab some dimensionals. I'm going to put one under his balloon, and that's probably about 4 for his body, because I want him to be supported, because the little string going up there is too thin for me to be putting dimensionals under there. Well, I wouldn't be worried about it, as long as you put 3 or 4 under his body and 1 under his balloon, just to support his balloon. That, and I'm just going to pop him about there on my card. And then this little fella, I might even put him a bit higher than the other one, not sure. Just put him about there. So we just need to put some dimensionals on the back of him. So I really hope that you like this technique, because I absolutely love it. I've gone from hating shaker cards to loving them. So there's nothing wrong in doing them the other way if that's what you like, but it's just a personal thing for me. It just drives me mad that the sequins all go to the bottom, and I think, well, it's a bit of a waste. So there, we're just going to pop him. Might even pop him there. Doesn't have to be straight. It's a party card. Doesn't have to be straight. And then all that's left to do is the sentiment. So I have, from the same stamp set, Party Pandas, I stamped out Happy Birthday on Whisper White, and then cut that out with the layering ovals, and then I cut from the layering ovals once again, just in Bermuda Bay. And I'll just, thought I'd finished with the dimensionals, but I'm just going to put 2 under there. Just remove them. I think any child would like to receive a card like this for their birthday. And then I'm just going to pop it as centre as I possibly can. Just press down on those 2. It's going to go up there, but I'm going to, yes, I'm going to put another, actually under this piece, I might put 3. You get so many dimensionals in one packet, it's absolutely fabulous. Lucky for me, because I'm always using them. So we're nearly finished. We've just got to pop this sentiment on and we're done. So I really hope you like this card, and thank you for watching this tutorial. I'm just concentrating, trying to put it straight. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would. It just encourages me to do more tutorials. I might even actually put that on an angle, just for something different. Okay, so you could put pearls or rhinestones on there if you wanted to, but I don't think it needs it. So they're the 2 I've done. This was the first one, which had the black background, and this is the one with the Bermuda Bay background. So thank you once again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Happy crafting!